My name is Mateja Hržica, and I'm the PhD student at the Faculty of Electrical Engineering, Computer Science and Information Technology in Osijek. Today, I'm going to present you a paper titled Finding Empty Volumes Inside 3D Models of Storage Furniture, which I have written with my colleagues, Petra Đurović, Matej, Džijan, and Robert Cupec. Okay, so this paper is actually a product of our ongoing research, which is motivated by desire to build an autonomous robot assistant for homes, offices, healthcare institutions. Moreover, we especially study how to improve robot manipulation tasks based on robotic vision. So one of the problems we noticed that a service robot can encounter in such environments is storing objects on a shelf, inside a cabinet, or in drawer, or on a bookshelf, or etc. And that problem actually can be interpreted as robot's task to place an object on a horizontal surface inside the furniture. So, but in order to store an object in storage furniture, the robot first needs to find an empty volume which can contain the object's 3D bounding box inside that furniture. And to perform such object manipulation task in unstructured environments, robot has to be able to detect objects and to interpret the scene semantically. The object detection and manipulation are actually not in the scope of this paper. We rather focused on solving semantic segmentation task. Semantic parts of storage furniture relevant for the considered task are empty volumes above shelves of storage furniture with the capacity to contain object of interest. I will refer to these empty volumes as storage volumes. Okay, so our proposed solution to described problem is an algorithm for detection of storage volumes in the storage furniture. The storage volume is considered to be an empty rectangular cuboid space above hard flat horizontal surface. And the algorithm takes 3D model of household storage furniture as input in form of voxel grid and outputs a set of 3D bounding boxes which represent storage volumes in that furniture model. We assume that size, excuse me, I accidentally clicked here. I wanted to show you this slide. Okay, so we assume that the size of object which will be placed on the shelf is known and start with the premise that object must be placed on a horizontal planar surface. Also, we limit the objects which will be placed on the shelves to a common shape, and so that their surface contains of rectangular planar segments aligned with axis of reference frame. In other words, the bottom surface of the object must coincide with the horizontal surface of the shelf. So now I can show you the algorithm. This assumption allows us to use a simple method to detect storage volumes. Proposed algorithm can be split actually into two main functionalities. The first functionality is detection of the free space in the voxel grid, which is followed by the storage surface detection. Combining these two outputs results with storage volume detection. So how the algorithm actually works: a query furniture model represented by voxel grid is given as input. The voxels inside this grid are assigned binary information based on their occupancy. Voxels which represent free space are assigned value 1, while voxels occupied by furniture construction material are assigned value 0. Applying 3D chessboard distance transform to the binary voxel grid actually assigns every free space voxel a distance to its closest occupied voxel. We refer to these distances as occupancy distances, or let's say delta. Neighboring group of voxels corresponding to the local maxima of this CDT with equal occupancy distances indicate the centers of So I was telling you about criterions, about minimal dimensions and supporting surface. I will continue from here. I hope you heard everything I said before. So the criterion of minimal bounding box dimensions ensure enough free space for successful storage of the smallest expected object which robot will handle. So if that criterion is satisfied, the next step is detection of storage surfaces suitable for storing objects. Storage volume candidate considered so far are actually occupy the free space amongst voxels, and thus we need to check the underside of the storage volume candidate because it is not necessarily supported by hard, flat, horizontal surface, which is necessary to classify a storage volume candidate as storage volume. Therefore, the next step is to determine area of the underside of each storage volume candidate, which is supported by flat horizontal surface. I refer to this as supporting surface. The algorithm then determines the ratio of occupied voxels in the voxel layer below the storage volume candidate to the total area of the storage volume candidate underside. If that ratio is greater than an empirically determined threshold, this can be evaluated as the supporting surface of the considered storage volume candidate. Actually, that means that the storage volume candidate can be storage volume. Otherwise, we eliminate this from further process. And finally, dimensions of the remaining storage volume candidates have to be adjusted to the size and shape of the supporting surface. Since the proposed approach detects rectangular storage volumes, a rectangular supporting surface is searched in the supporting layer. This problem can be approached similarly by obtaining rectangular storage volume candidates. So firstly, we need to find centroid of supporting surface, which will be used for the storage volume. This can be achieved by performing the 2D CDT to the supporting layer and finding its local maxima. And the set of cells corresponding to this local maxima we refer to as storage surface core. The last step would be actually dilating the storage surface core bounding box with square of dimensions nu delta times delta. And this dilated bounding box now encloses complete supporting surface area below the storage volume candidate, which we refer as storage surface. And finally, last step is adding the height of storage volume candidate to the storage surface, and then algorithm can construct bounding box of empty volume, which is now classified as storage volume in storage furniture. The proposed algorithm was actually implemented in Python. We used NumPy, SciPy, CC3D, Open3D, Matplotlib, and PyRender libraries. We used ShapeNet dataset, actually 3D bookshelf models. Now I can show you some results we have obtained. In this picture here, you can see an example of voxelized query shelf model. Blue voxels belong to the shelf model, and these red voxels are actually highlighted voxelized vertices of detected storage volume bounding boxes. This bottom picture here shows the same query shelf, but this is exactly CAD model from the ShapeNet. And here you can see 3D bounding boxes of annotated storage volumes. Note that here on top of the shelf, algorithm actually detected this as suitable for storing objects. That is actually because there is enough free space between this top shelf and ceiling. And here you can see another query model. This shelf doesn't have back panel. Algorithm found all the spaces for storage. Here you can see there is no storage space.
Oh, no voice. Mateja.